if we are in the victim role, by
Yeah.
definition, we're not in a hero's journey.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. And then if we are in the victim role, the first order of business
Yeah.
is to ask yourself, am I being a hero in this movie?
Yeah. Well, are
And
you
then
on,
am
yeah.
I being a victim? Is that a good question to ask?
It is a good question we can ask. And I think it all comes back to, are you, when you have that emotion or that addiction, that feeling that you want to just vent to somebody and go and get that advice or whatever it is, that whatever emotion you're addicted to, the feeling of lack, the feeling of insecurity or your depression, you want to talk yourself out of doing something. Ask yourself in that moment, like, am I feeling this and then am I moving through it? Like, am I feeling this with self-awareness so that I can master it? Or am I just letting it sweep me off my feet?
Okay.
Because it's okay to be in those emotions. We all will face these things throughout our lives.
Yeah.
But when you face them, what do you do with it?
Okay. I love it. All right. So we brought ourselves from this 9 to 5 stuck in a job situation, wanting to do something much more in life, having that burning passion inside of us. We learned that the best step is to start meditating. We learned that after we start meditating, we're going to be dealing with our ego in a different way. Rather reinforcing it, we're going to be dismantling it.
Yeah.
Okay. And now we're arrived to the subject of emotions.
Okay. Let's talk about emotions.
All right. So what do you have to say about emotions? And for example, what would emotions tell me, or how can emotions help me to navigate this hero's journey?
That's a great question. Because emotions, they're energy in motion, right? And they're going to take us somewhere if we go on there, if we choose to follow.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're feeling an uncomfortable emotion, is usually a sign of one of two things. Either it's coming from our higher intuition about something, that discomfort, that sort of tickle feeling.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, ooh, don't trust this person just now. You would come back to yourself and trust. There's that kind of emotion. I don't even know if I call that emotion, but there's that kind of sensation. And then there's the one where you feel like you're pulled into this like pattern of fear or whatever it is. And so what can our emotions show us?
Mm-hmm.
Our emotions are like little signals.
Okay.
They're signaling to us. They're like going, hey. They're grabbing for our attention, and we have to just look at them. We have to face them and see where they're coming from. Are they our old patterns trying to suck us back in? Or is it a sign from ourself? Like in the same way that if you have your hand on the stove, it's sending you a signal, hey, take your hand off the stove.
Mm-hmm.
It can be a signal of where you want to go next and what you need to be doing.
Okay. So if I'm experiencing negative emotion, which means that there's somewhere I may not be on my path.
Right.
Or it may be that is an emotion of fear that needs to be faced, because this is what I really want to talk about.
Yeah.
Because there's two ways. I don't think we can grow without the pain.
Of course not.
Okay.
Yeah.
We cannot. And we experience pain when we suffer. Now, how do you know which one to accept and process through, which one to deny? How do you know this is a pain of the suffering or this is a pain of the growth?
I think it's just a trial and error process, because you can tell when your pain is almost like injuring yourself, and by injuring yourself, I just mean your pain is a drain versus more, it's like a pain of growth.
Mm-hmm.
Are you, it's like if you think about when you're working out, are you building muscle with this pain? Mm-hmm. Or are you just putting all your energy into something that's taking your energy away?
Okay.
Are you being efficient with your pain? That's one thing to think about. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, are you resisting the pain because you're afraid of what's on the other side? Or are you facing the pain because you know that that's the hero's journey?
Okay. All right. So sometimes I can go through life on my hero's journey, and there will be a point of fear or pain, if you will, right? And that will be the indication for me to overcome it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is the hero's journey type of pain.
Yes.
Where it's a part of us that perhaps from the trauma from the childhood or some karmic, inheritance or whatnot.
Yeah.
But there's a part of us that is disorganized, and as we go through the hero's journey, we're facing that. And how do we face that? By interacting with other people and having these emotions triggered.
Yeah.
And then we look in, and then we see, okay, I experienced this emotion, and now I can blame other people. But every time I point the finger at somebody else, it's 3 pointing back.
Yeah.
So that tells us that that person just showed something about ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
And which means that if that person did show us something about ourselves, then that's the hero's journey type of pain to overcome. And so I just want for the listeners to understand that hero's journey does not mean a constant bliss. What the hero's journey means is the constant challenge and the bliss behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, I've been through this little hero's journey in my relationship, right?
Yeah.
And it's been a very challenging relationship, but I did not. I have never grown as much as I have, and I've never found out as much about myself as facing these challenges.
Totally.
And I can tell from my experience that these challenges, when they come up and they take you, and that emotion, that energy, you lose yourself in it. You identify with it, and sometimes it takes so much to step out of it, do some breathing, do some meditation, and find that inner space where you can process that pain, and it just goes away. And then you can, once you do that, then you can interact with your partner from a different point of view and heal that challenge, that pain that showed up. And I can attest that after that, you feel blissful, you feel high, you feel like falling in love again and again and again.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's like you're never just going to master life. The way the life works, I think, is cycles of bliss and then a new lesson. Like you have a challenge, or you have a desire, you want to go somewhere in life, you want to accomplish something, and life is going to, and other people, like in this challenge, the relationship challenge, you want to experience love with this person, right?
Yeah.
And in that kind of love, it's going to bring up every block of love. Mm-hmm. Everything inside of you that resists what it means to love fully is going to be thrown in your face, and you're gonna get caught off guard. Yeah. It's a bigger and bigger wave. You're gonna fall off the surfboard. But the important thing is knowing now you know how to get back on the surfboard. Yeah. You're not fazed by it.
Learning how to get back on the surfboard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and yeah, because you have that self-understanding. You're not. So it's still gonna hurt. There's always gonna be pain. But you've framed the pain now so that you know that this is a process that has huge rewards. Mm-hmm. So now when you fall off the surfboard, you know what it feels like to catch that pipeline. So you're gonna get back on. You know that rush, that bliss. You know the purpose of why you fall off the surfboard, and so you can build your balance and your leg muscles for that bigger and bigger wave.
Absolutely, I'm getting chills.
Yeah,
which means it's true. Which means you're not lying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's fantastic. All right, so we figured out that there is a growing pain which hides the bliss behind it. Mm-hmm. And then life is about cycles, that there's going to be a challenge, pain, bliss, challenge, pain, bliss.
Yeah.
And would you say that's sort of like invitation to start enjoying that type of pain? Not a pain of suffering, but the pain of growth.
Yeah. So this is, I think, we've come upon the main difference between the two types of pain, because the pain of suffering is a signal to take that's a signal to say, oh, hold on, take a step back, change something, or just witness this. Like literally, if the emotion is consuming you that much, you just have to sit yourself down sometimes and have that conversation with yourself, which is what meditation really is. It's you interfacing with yourself. And the other type of pain is the pain of climbing up a mountain. You know, your legs are going to get sore, but you're going to get to the mountaintop.
Right.
You know, so it's the difference between a progress pain and pain that is unavoidable, because there's always pain in life, and the suffering of being caught up on one of the steps. So
to summarize, the advice, I believe, would be find out where is the growing pain and what pain you're supposed to face and process through. And which is obviously, when I say pain, I mean also the fears as well, which the pain is a form of fear. Pain, the way I see pain, is that emotional pain especially, I believe, is very tangible. It's almost like physical pain when we're experiencing. And it's that energy in motion flowing through you, but flowing through a certain disorganized belief, disorganized thought form that is there, sitting there, and we call the shadow, right? Because we're not aware of it. And once that energy of love, it could be love, flowing through that, and that disorganized part of us makes that energy vibrate at the emotion of fear and tension, and that's the emotional pain. Which means that there is a part of us that needs to be reorganized. This is the way I imagine.
I agree. I have a similar way of organizing it. There's like this part of you, which at first you identify with.
Because my armpits now, I'm going to be like this, just to make sure that viewers don't see my fluids leaking from my armpits. No, I'm just sweating. It's hot in here.
It's getting intense in here.
Give me a break.
We're getting really deep into this process, man. It's work. We're working.
It is.
So what were we saying? We're saying
we were talking about the visualizing the pain. And
So